Hi everyone, I have a prenatal Pilates workout for you today using a small Pilates ball. Now you could do this class at any time throughout pregnancy, but it's definitely made with the third trimester in mind. I myself am 36 weeks along while filming this. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Nicole. I'm a STOTT trained Pilates instructor and a pregnancy and postpartum corrective exercise specialist. So you're in good hands today. However, I'm not there in the room with you. So you first and foremost are going to listen to your body, listen to your doctor. If anything's not feeling right, nauseous, lightheaded, dizzy, you're going to stop. Now, this is the only piece of equipment you need, but we are going to be kneeling for the first chunk of class. So if you want a blanket or a folded towel down for some extra padding under your knees, that is an option. We'll start kneeling and then we'll come to our side. So we're going to do mirror image cueing today. So I want you to have the ball in your right hand for this warm up to start. And then we're going to come to tabletop position. Now I want you to turn your right fingertips in and the ball is kind of under your chest. Knees are hips distance apart. Spread out through those left fingertips. We're going to roll the ball under doing a thread the needle motion. And as we do this, I just want you to rotate through your mid-spine a little bit, bending into that left elbow. And then as you inhale, I want you to bring it back through center. Maybe rotate open and over to the right a little bit. Exhale, thread the needle, roll it through. Inhale it open. The twist might be very small, especially if you're farther along in your pregnancy. That's fine. I just want a little movement of that thoracic spine. Give me one more here. And then gripping that ball in your right hand, staying in this tabletop position, I want you to sweep the right arm up overhead. And you're going to start to circle the arm up and back behind you. And then I want you to push off of this left hand, bringing the ball to the ground behind you and just sweep your left arm up. Opening up through the side body and the chest here, and then just reverse it. Come back into that tabletop position. Circle the right arm up and down. Again, circle it up and back, bum to heels. And bring it forward. Just one more time like this. And then let's come through tabletop and let's do the same thing on the other side. So now plant down through your right hand, left hand is on the ball, and turn your fingertips so that they point in, so that as you exhale, you can roll the ball under, rotating through the mid-spine. Inhale, open rotation over to the left. And again, you don't have to do a super big twist here. It shouldn't feel uncomfortable. It should feel good, okay? If it's feeling uncomfortable, make it smaller. Let's do one more. And then I want you to come through center, grip the ball in your left hand, reach the left arm up and forward, circle it back around, sit your bum on your heels, right arm sweeps up. And then reverse it. Just twice more here. Last time. All right, we're going to circle it back through tabletop. We can keep that ball in our left hand. We're going to press our palm down on it. I want your hands under shoulders. Your chest is going to be square to the floor. Our left hand is elevated, so that left elbow will be bent. Knees are under hips. So we are going to do some deep core work and some glute work, okay? It's going to be a bird dog variation. As you exhale, you're going to press down on the ball with your left hand as you do a donkey kick on the right side, okay? So I want you to make sure you're neutral through the spine. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, feel the lift to your pelvic floor and the engagement of your abdominal wall. So it's like you're hugging your baby up and in. As you do this, press down on the ball on your left side, and you're going to donkey kick, driving the right heel up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lower the knee back down to the ground. Exhale. Donkey kick with that press down on the ball. And lower. Now, if this is a little too much, you can always do it with both hands planted firmly on the ground instead of having that left hand on the ball, okay? Up to you. Move slowly with your breath. And as you drive that heel up, you're squeezing into the glutes. So think about making a fist with that right butt cheek, but you're not arching into the lower back, okay? So I want you to feel glutes fire. I don't want you to feel the lower back clench. So it's going to be helpful to really initiate the movement with your exhale, feel the brace of the core, then move. Now, something I've been noticing myself do in these classes when I watch them back to edit the video is shift my butt back so that instead of having my bum over my knees, kind of back over towards my calves. So make sure you're not doing that. Let's really try to keep the hips over the knees. It requires a little more core engagement, but it's the proper form. It's what we want. So try to avoid that shift back. If you catch yourself shifting back, something you can do is you can do this with your head against a wall, which sounds a little silly, but then you'll notice if your head pulls away from the wall, you're shifting back, so you can keep it lightly against it. Twice more like this. And the next time you donkey kick up, you're going to hold that donkey kick. Now from here, holding the knee lifted, we're going to kick straight through the leg as we roll the ball out. And then exhale, you're going to flex through the ankle, bring it in. I just have to scoot forward so I don't hit my wall. So I want you to inhale, point and straighten through the leg, ball rolls out. Exhale, curl it in. Try not to lose height through the knee as you do this. So you're maintaining the contraction through the glutes as we add in a little hamstring curl. Rolling the ball out and in. If this is a little too much, remove the ball. Have both hands planted and just focus on the leg. Give me one more like this. And with that knee bent, give me a little donkey kick pulse on the exhale. Up, press down on the ball. Up. Drive it up. And up, not lowering the knee all the way down, it's a pulse. Now make sure you're maintaining length through the back of the neck. And we're not sinking down into this right shoulder, so we really press the floor away. We're gonna do another round of that hamstring curl. This time when we roll out through the ball, add in a bend of the right elbow in 3. Pulse 2, 1, keep that knee lifted. Round 2, you're going to point through the ankle as you straighten the leg. You're going to roll out through the ball, bending into your right elbow like a tricep dip, and then we bring everything back up. So your torso leans forward, so almost think like a seesaw here, and then it comes back up as you curl the knee in. So a little bit of coordination involved here, a lot going on. We got a hamstring curl of the leg, we got a tricep press on the right arm, we got a roll out on the left. I like inhale it out. Exhale it back in. 3 more. Last time. Finish with the second round of those donkey kick pulses. The leg pulses up, you press down on the ball. We're not dumping all of our weight over to the left. Give me 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that knee down. Sit your bum on your heels, and you can just roll out through the wrists. Really the right wrist. Left didn't have to do too much. All right, so we're going to repeat that series on the other side, and then you're done with your tabletop work for the day. So we're going to move the ball under our right hand. We're going to spread out through the left fingertips. Knees are under hips. Make sure you're not in this position with your bum over your calves. So you want to shift it forward. We're going to do that donkey kick to start. So you exhale. First, feel the brace of your core. Then we press down on the ball as the left leg does a donkey kick. Inhale, lower it down. If the offset position is a little too much, you're going to forget about the ball. You're going to keep both hands planted down, and you're just going to focus on the donkey kick of that left leg. As the foot drives up to the ceiling, you're contracting into the glutes. You're not arching into the lower back or tensing into the lower back. So our left shoulder has to do a lot of stability work as we go through this. Make sure you're not sinking down into it. Really press the mat away. We're going to hold that leg lifted. We're going to do that hamstring curl, heading in the roll out of the ball. Keeping our left arm straight to start. In 3, 2, hold that donkey kick position. So you're going to inhale, kick the legs straight, roll out through the ball. Exhale, curl back in. Keeping the spine pretty parallel to the floor, so we're not adding in that dip on this first round. We're pretty light through the ball as we roll it out and in. Keep that knee lifted so we keep the contraction in the glutes as we curl in and stretch it long. You're going to give me donkey kick pulses, adding in a little press down on the ball. In 3, 2, keep your hips square to the ground. 1, with that knee bent, a little donkey kick pulse. Up, up. Squeeze into the glutes, up. You can always do this with both hands, square on the ground, instead of the ball. We're going to do another round of that rollout, adding in a tricep dip on the left side. In 3, 2, 1. Keep the leg lifted as you straighten, you roll out. Your body teeters forward, kind of like a seesaw. Curl, hamstring curls, you roll the ball back in and press your left arm straight. So we got a tricep press on the left, a roll out on the right, a hamstring curl on the left. Lots of moving parts here. Out and in. You're almost done with tabletop work. We're going to do one more round of those donkey kick pulses. In 3, 2, last roll out, bring it through center, and it's a donkey kick pulse up to finish. Fire into the glutes, drive through the heel. Give me 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the knee down. Bum can come to your heels. Awesome job. You can roll out through that wrist. So we'll be doing side body work up next. So you don't need, if you're using like a towel or a blanket for padding, you don't need it anymore. You can move it off to the side. Or if it's flat enough and it won't throw off alignment, you can keep it down, doesn't matter. So mirroring me, we're gonna come onto our left side and we're gonna use the ball as just a prop kind of under our rib cage, like a cue to remind us to stay lifted. So it'll add a little bit of support, but I don't want us to dump all the way down into it. So I want you to come down onto your left forearm, and we're just gonna place the ball kind of under our lower ribs as a reminder to stay lifted and not collapse down into this shoulder. Your bottom knee is going to be bent. You can bring it forward a little bit. You're gonna take your top right leg long though. And from here, we're gonna lift and lower it. I'm gonna keep my ankle flexed for this. We lift it up and lower. If keeping the foot flexed causes any cramping, you can always point it instead. So as the leg lifts up, we're not collapsing down on the ball. Stay lifted, okay? Just light pressure on the ball. That doesn't change. Exhale, long through the leg and up. Think length and up. I don't care about the height. It's going to look different for everyone. In a position like this, your proportions play a role in how high you can get your leg up. If you have a shorter torso with a really long leg, it's going to be harder to get that leg very far off the ground at all. Whereas if the reverse is true, you may find that you can lift your leg. You have a good amount of room to do it. That goes with all exercise. It's going to look different on everyone. And that is a-okay. We just want to make sure, regardless of how high we're getting it, that we're focusing on the leg moving in the hip joint. We're not moving through the rest of our body. So we don't collapse through the side body or the shoulder to lift the leg. We fire our abductors down here to lift the leg. You're going to hold that leg lifted up in 4, 3, 2. You're going to hold the leg lifted at a hover. Give me a gentle point through the ankle now and trace little circles for me. Sorry, I got to scoot up. Every class, I'm hitting the wall, got to scoot. Tight little circles. It's the leg and the hip joint. We don't sway through the rest of the body. In 4, you switch. In 3, in 2, and 1, switch direction of the circles. Keep reaching long through the leg. Now we're going to start bending and straightening through this knee, adding an internal rotation in 4, 3, 2, 1. So holding it straight at a hover, I want you to bend the knee in and internally rotate it, bringing the knee to tap the bottom knee. Let's come through parallel and kick it straight. We bring it in, I'm pointing through the ankle. Kicking it straight, I'm flexing. If adding in the point and flex overcomplicates things, just keep it pointed or flexed. Now notice, are you starting to sink down into that ball? I was. Pressing that away. This is a quick side body series. You can do it. We're going to hold that knee bent. We're going to move internal to external rotation in 3, 2, 1. Holding the knee bent, you're now going to move external rotation. So kind of think foot to foot, internal knee to knee. The knees don't have to actually touch, okay? Now we're not rocking through the hips, so keep your pelvis still. The leg rotates within it. Now, as you do this, I want you to grab the ball in your right hand, remove it from under your rib cage. I want you to take your bottom left forearm, and I want you to pivot it forward at an angle. We're going to keep this internal to external rotation going, but we're going to add in a press straight of this arm and a little rotation of our torso open. So internal, now as you do external, I want you to exhale, lift the elbow off the ground, and we come to this position. So we're lifted, chest is open over to the right slightly. Bend the elbow, lower back down, internal rotation. Open on the exhale, internal, lower, press. Woo! Now you can stay just like this, or if you want to make it bigger, we're going to come all the way to a seated butterfly position. So as you exhale, you're going to push all the way off this bottom arm, foot to foot, you're in a butterfly position, seated, and then we reverse it. Coming back down to our forearm, internal rotation. Now notice as I do this, my hips and shoulders are rotating with each other so that I don't create a huge twist through my midsection. So hips moving, shoulders moving as one unit. Especially later in pregnancy, you don't want to do deep twists through your midsection. There's kind of something in the way. So we move the hips and shoulders together here. Twice more. Last time, if you're not adding in that push-off, I want you to this time, I want everyone to come up to this butterfly position. I want you to now take your left foot and I want you to bring it behind you, okay? So our legs are kind of in this opposing triangle shape. I'll kind of turn to face you so you can see it. You have the ball in your right hand. So from here, we're going to do a rollout. So you're going to sweep the left arm overhead as you roll out over to the right on the ball. You're going to bring it upright, and then as you exhale, I want you to shift forward, and I want you to rise up onto your knees, opening up through the front of the hips. We're going to stay in that combo. The hips go back. We roll it out. We bring it up. So we're going to repeat that side body series on the other side coming up, and then that will conclude our class. Once more here. You're going to sit those hips down. All right, so you're going to swing it around, mirroring me. We'll come and repeat that on the other side, but you can take a few seconds to catch your breath first if you need it. I tell you, as I get farther into pregnancy, it is harder and harder to talk while working out because The baby is pushing up against my lungs. I got her feet kicking me in the ribs. Like, it's definitely difficult. So even if you don't need to catch your breath, I do. So we're going to take a second before we repeat that on the other side. All right, let's get to work. We're going to prop ourselves up on the right forearm, and I want you to bring the ball under your lower rib cage, just as kind of a reminder to stay lifted, okay? It can provide a little bit of support, but we don't want to totally sink down into it. You're going to press the mat away, stay stable through this bottom shoulder. Hips are stacked one on top of the other. Bottom knee is bent. You're going to take your top left leg long. I like flex through the ankle, just gives me a little more space to lift. And we're going to lift and lower. Ooh. Reaching long through the leg and up. Exhale, hug the bump up and in, leg lifts. It all comes back to breath. That is how we're going to manage pressure correctly in our core as we move throughout workouts. Always important, but especially in pregnancy when our abs are stretched out, we want to protect them and make sure that we're not making a diastasis worse or contributing to prolapse. If at any point you feel pressure pushing out on your midline, which you shouldn't in a side lying position, but if we're like in tabletop or anything like that, if you feel pressure out on your midline or you see a coning, a bulging kind of out this midline, that is a sign you're not managing pressure well. And you need to first just try it with the proper breathing. If you're still feeling that pressure, seeing it, time to modify or take that exercise out of the rotation altogether. We don't want to do more harm than good, right? We want to make our recovery on the other side of giving birth as smooth as possible. So we're going to hold this leg lifted for some circles. In 2. Next time you lift, hold that leg at the hover. You're reaching long. Point it through the ankle, little circles, little circles. Stay lifted through the waist, stable through the shoulder. Tight circles, you don't sway through the rest of your body. In 4, you switch. In 3, in 2, and 1, same circle, switch direction. So we're going to add in some internal rotation with that bend and press of the leg. In 4, 3, 2, 1, keep it lifted. You're going to bend the knee in, internally rotate that thigh and the hip joint, kind of bringing knee to knee. It's okay if they don't actually touch. I just want that little rotation so you should see the lift of the foot. And then we're going to kick it straight in parallels, keeping it at a hover. In and internal, long and parallel. Stay lifted through the waist. Don't be frustrated if the internal rotation isn't a huge movement. It doesn't need to be. Just give me that little wrap of the thigh inward, opening up through the back of the pelvis as we do. We're going to hold the knee bent. We'll do internal to external in 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the knee bent. Peel it open, external rotation to in. So you can think foot to foot, knee to knee, but it's okay if the knees don't actually touch. We're not rocking open and close through the hips, so keep your pelvis still. It can even be helpful to put your hand on your hips so that you feel it. Hips are holding still. It's the leg moving within the hip joint. Now, as you do this, I want you to remove the ball from underneath your ribs. I want you to take that bottom left forearm and pivot it, bottom right forearm and pivot it forward slightly. We're going to move internal. We're going to press up to external. Let's do it. Internal, as you do external, exhale. Open it up. So we're in this lifted position. Torso is open slightly to the left. And then lower to the forearm, internal rotation. Exploring that hip joint. Remember, shoulders and hips are moving together so that we don't create an uncomfortable twist through our midsection here. Now you can stay like this, just rising up to a straight arm, or we can press all the way up to a butterfly. You would exhale, push all the way off that arm, foot to foot, you're in seated butterfly position, and then you return it to the floor, internal. Exhale, feel the brace of your core. Hips and shoulders move as one. Come to seated. What is my knee doing? There we go. Twice more. Last time, we're all going to come up to that seated butterfly position. Now from here, I want you to take your right leg and I want you to bring it behind you so that your legs are in this, I'll kind of turn to face you, sort of opposing triangle positions. We still have the ball in our left hand. We're going to roll out, sweeping the right arm overhead. You're going to bring it up. Exhale, rise up onto your knees in this pretzel position. Oh, nice opening up through the hips. And I love this roll up. Excuse me, I love this roll out to open up through the side of the body. All right. So from here, we just cool it down. Awesome work today. At this point in pregnancy, I'm enjoying keeping classes on the shorter side. 30-ish or less minutes is great for me. That and then taking my dogs on a long walk, it's like, that is all I need. Let's do one more. Roll it out. Bring it up. And then I want you to sit it down. Come to a comfortable cross-legged position. One hand on either knee. And let's just trace some circles within the pelvis. Oh, that feels nice. Switch direction of those circles. You can also play around with which foot is in front in the cross. You'll feel it more in one hip versus the other slightly. It's not a huge difference, but you can play around with that. And when you're ready, we'll just settle in the center. We're going to finish class with a moment of stillness. You can close your eyes if you'd like. Notice if you're holding tension in your forehead between your eyebrows, can you relax it? If you're clenching the jaw, can you relax that? Can you let your shoulders just soften, sort of melt down your spine? And if you have the tendency to suck in through the stomach area and pull in belly button towards spine, can you relax that as well? And just take a few breaths here. When you're ready, you can open your eyes if they were closed. Thank you for moving with me today. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm nearing the end of my prenatal classes that I'm sharing here because I'm nearing the end of my pregnancy, but we have a few more weeks of them. I've so enjoyed sharing all of this with you all, and I hope that they're helpful. If you have someone in your life who is pregnant and you think would benefit from these classes, I'd be so appreciative of you sharing these videos with them, sharing my channel to social media, all that. It helps so much. All right, thanks for moving with me today, and I'll see you next time.